All right, everyone, I am back. Welcome back to another episode of Life Sober and Shit. My name is Michael. If you don't know or if you haven't been listening, I'm here just to talk about pretty much anything and everything because I actually forget. I forgot myself why I'm doing this and, you know, the reason for this situation. And I am doubting myself, you guys. I was doubting myself and I was kind of in my old ways. It was really easy to kind of fall back into old ways. And that kind of brings me to my topic onto really what has been going on and, what's been happening. And it's really just about the productivity. Okay. So, productivity to me, I've actually been reading this book called Free to Focus, and I've been learning so much, and it's almost like a confirmation of what's going on in my current life. It was so crazy because I was going through this mess of like overwhelm of too many things at once. And it was to a point where I was busy and I thought I was being productive. And reading this book, I realized I wasn't being productive. I had to really sit back and think about what was impactful, what was most impactful in my life, what made me happy, what fulfilled me. And all the other things kind of just fall through, right? And you have to be able to kind of prioritize those. And so I have this theory of, you're 3 to 6, okay? And then you're 8 to 10, right? And so eliminate action and new habits. So that's another thing too, is about it was really, really hard for me. Well, the organizing was not hard, okay? It was prioritizing and really sitting there with each thing. For example, I really wanted to take on this whole new YouTube journey, right? And so I went ahead and did that. And I figured that actually fulfills me and that actually makes me happy and makes me be creative. And, it makes me, I actually have fun doing it. And so that was on my high priority. And there was things like my Depop business or my Poshmark, my reselling business. I'm like, is that really a priority? So I would put that into my category of 3 to 6, and then my YouTube, my 8 to 10, because it's fulfilling, right? And so I'm kind of in between the situation right now where I really love my yoga experience. I just love, like, I don't know, like, I just love like just the feeling, the energy, like just the being of it, like all. But as the studio costs so much, it costs $150 a month for unlimited classes at this one studio near me. And I love the studio. It's literally fully loaded, right? But then I also have a gym membership, which is only $30, but that $30 adds up, right? And so I'm thinking, how do I find balance in that? But I was kind of in a situation where I'm thinking, I actually need the gym because I need their weights, right? Their equipment, because I do want to gain. And also, I love the yoga because it keeps me balanced, my well being kind of present, in the moment, and just that whole vibe. And so I'm kind of stuck where I'm like, okay, do I eliminate one of those? And I was thinking to myself, maybe I'll just eliminate the gym, but that would defeat my purpose and what my goals are, right? So I would think I would have to settle on the gym for now and do not do the yoga studio and maybe just do drop-in classes once in a blue moon. But it's like you just have to figure out what will benefit you at the end of the day. And that was kind of really a hard transition. And the like making new habits, it's so hard because we're so conditioned as people, like the minute we are born. Okay, we're conditioned to be a certain way. We're conditioned to, we're expected to go through school, get married, have kids, buy a house, like these things. So we kind of go towards those things. And yeah, and so it's like we're kind of like on a robotic movement all the time because we're going towards those things and only those things. But if you think about it, we're actually very limitless. Like we are limitless. So it's about really just tuning in to that side of yourself, and that's a really hard process. It doesn't just kind of happen overnight. Like it doesn't just happen, right? um, but I kind of noticed also that it was really, really easy to fall back into old habits, okay? Because that loud noise that you hear, that negativeness, it can be very loud and overwhelming, and it's easy for it to just take over. So with me, I noticed it was slowly kind of leaking in, like seeping in, all this loudness, this negativity, and it's me. It was really me at the end of the day. And it was creeping in, and I would see myself slipping, and I would watch repeats and episodes of Hey You, of reality TV. I was like feeding myself with that like constantly, and I was like, wait, this is too much. And I was very aware of what I was doing. Okay, I was like procrastinating. I was procrastinating. Like, okay, let it be. I'm feeling a little bit down today. I'm gonna feel down. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I was accepting the fact that I was feeling shitty, but that is the point right here. Okay, you cannot you absolutely cannot accept it. You cannot accept it, okay? When you're feeling weak and down and doubtful or whatever that you're saying to yourself, tell it to fuck off, okay? Tell it to fuck off, and it's not the day. It's not the motherfucking day today, bitch, okay? And so I think just going ahead with that, and just refocusing your energy again, and just really refocusing your energy, and it's really, really hard, and and just creating new habits, right? It's like practice. So the more you practice something, the more it becomes you, and it becomes almost normal. Like this recording, it's almost becoming me, but I'm practicing it. And so the other day I took myself for a walk because I was feeling down, and usually when I do feel down, I like to take myself out for a walk or something, right? Like just not be in my space. Like I just need to be out, kind of in a bigger space, some air, fresh air. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to practice my filming today and work with my camera and how the camera angles, footages, like B rolls, like adding B rolls and filming B rolls. Like I learned these things. I'm kind of practicing what I want to be, right? I'm not perfect, but I'm making the movements and the steps to go towards the things that I want. So, oh yes, I actually have a quote here, and it says, you do not have to be great to start, but you will become great when you start. Okay? Let that sit in. Let that sit in, okay? You don't have to be great to start, but you will become great when you start. Okay, so it's that same thing. So it's practice, it's repetitive, it's like consistent, persistent, right? On it, on it, on it, on it. And yes, it's really, really hard because we all have distractions like our phones, families, friends, so many things come up. Like life just lives sometimes, it just life just lives, and that's just what happens sometimes. But yes, it's okay to deal with that, but then also just coming back and refocusing again, right? And it's like just being um aware and conscious, and practice is everything. If you want to be something, you have to practice being that something, right? Until it becomes you, until you can be bigger and be very knowledgeable, and and grow from that. It just comes naturally as you go, you know but yeah, so the productivity, the prioritizing, and eliminating these small little tasks that you don't really need to, that you can wait for, you can eliminate those weekends. You can actually fit some of the things on the weekends in your weekday and be more productive in a way where you're like working you're getting so much more in return than you're actually working. So it's like working more, but getting less. No, sorry, getting more in return and then working less. Kind of that aspect, and it's crazy because you really have to sit there and really evaluate your life, literally evaluate your life and what is going on, like to the T, and that's a hard one because it's hard to dive into those deep things and really contemplate, like, what is good for me, what is the best direction for me, what can I do today, you know what I mean, to go towards that direction. It doesn't even have to be like a career wise thing. Like, it doesn't, it can be something so small, like reaching out to an old friend that you've been thinking about, and or just calling your mom because you feel like you maybe want to work on calling your mom more, or your parents, or whatever, like just your loved one, just reaching out to somebody. It's just the small little things, you guys, can actually be so impactful, for yourself and your happiness and your 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 being, like, honestly. And what I like to do is like smile. So I smile at people, when I'm walking down the street, when I'm making eye contact. I really like to be aware of my surroundings, and I like to look up. And so when I catch somebody's eye contact, I give them a quick smile, like this, a quick smile or a nod, you know what I mean? Like, just acknowledging, and it makes me feel like not alone, right? And so there's light out there in the world, like there is, and it's appreciation, within us, for us, like, for each other, and I think just spreading that love and spreading that joy, honestly, just from within, it just becomes lighter. You become lighter. You have a better sense of being, you have a better sense of perspective of people, and just feeling really light within. And I think it's really important to kind of just redirect your intentions, right? Like, why you're doing what you're doing, or is what you're doing impactful for you and your health and your well-being and your happiness, and those things are really like important, and things that you should really try to definitely magnify, because it's hard to sit with that. And it is because of me. Sometimes I feel very doubtful in myself, but that's just me, and I redirect my mind and be like, bitch, no, you are not. You are not less than. You are not less than them. You know what I mean? Like, you are better than, like, not better than, but you are worthy. Like, just to remember that you're worthy, because we are actually all worthy of feeling fulfilled, successful, the happy, like anything, like just your like fullest potential of life. Everybody has this potential of being, and I feel like it's just channeling that. Sometimes we really forget because there's so many distractions, and we're so quick in routine, and it's easy to kind of just stick with that routine, what we know, but we're actually so much more than what we know, okay? Like, we are bigger than that. And I really truly believe that, and that's just a message I really want to keep implementing, because it's just a little, those slight reminders, like, I had a conversation the other day, and I didn't feel like I didn't feel like I sounded doubtful, but I called a friend, and he's in the hospital. He literally just got a bypass, and he had a bypass surgery. And you know I talked to him, and I kind of told him about what's going on in my life, kind of just as a bit of a distraction, of course, from what he's going through, because that's fucking insane. And he's someone that really will tell you to your face what is going on to your face. And I love that. And I love that these are the friends that you need, that are honest to your face. And you know what he said to me? He said, "You are procrastinating. You have the tools that you need to right now to move to the direction you want to. It might not be the best tools that you have, but you work with what you got, and you're just procrastinating, right? And you can make this happen for yourself if you just get moving." And I'm like, you know what? He literally put me accountable, and immediately I didn't even deny it, because I fucking heard him. I needed to hear that from somebody else, because I fucking knew exactly what he was saying was the damn truth. And I accepted it. I was like, damn. I was like, you know what? You're right. And immediately I changed. My perspective changed. And it's just those subtle reminders. And like those friends, you need those friends. And when your friends are being like, yo, girl, get it together, don't take offense. Really ask yourself, why are they saying this? Why are they, implying or whatever, thinking that I'm bad or whatever? Like, whatever it is that you might receive it, how you would receive it, it's completely different from where it's coming from, right? But you really have to dig deep with that and be careful with yourself with that because those are your emotions, right? And so you really have to dig deep and where that comes from, this offensive, this blockage, or defense mode. And and that's something that you really have to figure out, like, on your own, right? But it's just those subtle reminders, and I think that your friends can be really helpful. But I would definitely suggest like a counselor or a therapist. Honestly, it's so helpful. And there are resources out there, because I know, because I went out and I looked, because this bitch don't got no money right now. And so, you got to do what you got to do. But there are resources out there that are free for a few sessions. And then it's like pay as you go, kind of pay at what you can. You can literally, it's like by donation, essentially. So there are resources out there. Just check out, reach out, right? Because a lot of the times we actually don't know what's going on, even though we're living in what's going on, when we are aware of what's going on, but somehow we're lost in it, right? It's really hard to see yourself like in it, in the situation, and kind of manage and kind of, see it from the outside, and how to kind of navigate it from there, because it's so easy to get lost when you're in it. So another perspective from the outside, seeing it in, is so clear. It's so clear because they're seeing it from the outside. You have all these other emotions, these feelings attached to the situation, right? So it's really hard for you to see. But someone from the outside perspective is only seeing what you're putting out there, or saying, and they kind of just see that without any emotional attachment or anything like that. So I find it honestly so helpful, because you're like, bitch, what? I already knew that, but like, oh my god, just hearing it and having it said from another perspective is like awakening. Okay, so I really, really love that, and really reach out, if you can, to those things. Actually, and not if you can, you can. If you want it, you can get it. Okay, if you want it, you got it, girl. You just gotta move those feet. Okay, you gotta move that feet, honey. Move your fingers. Do whatever you gotta do to move. Whatever you gotta do to move forward, move it along. Move it along. Trickle along. Do what you gotta do, girl, because you got this. You got this, girl. You got this. Just kidding. But for real, yeah, just stay focused and just get, your intention. Just making sure that your intentions are in the right places, and your mind is in the right place, and if it's not, you have to figure out so many other things before you kind of have this peacefulness and acceptance, of where you are, and being present. And being speaking of being present, I actually had a reading with my sister, and it was one of those insights that I got, um, was about being present and just being grateful for what you have, just appreciating where you are. Like the other night, last night, I laid in my bed. I laid in my bed under my blankets, and I just felt this feeling of comfort, of safety, of just peacefulness, and I had so much gratitude in the moment that I literally said out loud, "Thank you. Thank you so much for this." Like, I was so thankful to be here in my bed in the moment, because to think someone doesn't have a bed or a blanket, and I'm full, and just being here in the present, and just being, grateful for what you have. You know, don't live in the future, live in the now. And anyway, that kind of just concludes really my little topic for today, or my conversation for this episode. But I do miss coming on, and I will be more persistent and more consistent on my podcast and YouTube. My schedule is finally starting to, normalize. I'm able to kind of manage it a lot better. But yes, if you guys made it this far, like, thank you so much for listening and for being here. And, just remember, you got this. You got this, girl. You got this day. You know, just remember your intentions. As long as your intentions are pure, your love is high, and that's all we can do. And that's all we can give to the world. And I just want to spread that love here. And, if you're having a hard time, reach out. Um, there's people out there that love you, and the people out there that really do care about you, and you do have um, a unit out there. You have a family out there. There are people out there for you, and you are not alone. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. And if you haven't already, follow me, subscribe. Yeah, it's going to be just off topics. It's going to be just kind of crazy things of my revelations in life, just random conversations. So yeah, follow it, subscribe, and have a wonderful day, and stay pure, honey, okay? And be beautiful. Bye for now. Oh my god. I was kind of shaky for that one.